you clean enough of this stuff and you'll get a good idea about what those stones weigh. You can do a before and after comparison to help you in the future doing estimating stone weights and clean value of what you're buying. Now, probably about half of my sellers clean their stuff, and about half of my sellers send their stuff in however they get it, and I would prefer it to be sent in uncleaned because it can be a problem and extra worrisome to deal with some of that stuff that has been pre-cleaned. So just FYI, if you're sending your stuff in to me, you're probably always going to get a better price from me when you don't clean it. I suppose there are exceptions, but as a rule, I would think that is true. And years back, my main customers were jewelers, and I was dealing with this one old jeweler down in Alabama, and he sent me in a huge lot of these gigantic rings, and they had all been cleaned out of their stones and such. And the average weight of each ring was probably somewhere around 18 grams a piece. And I got to looking at the rings, and to tell you the truth, I damn near started crying because what he sent in was a friend of his had died, and he was a salesperson on the road sales and very high up in the company of I want to say it was Jostens, although I know there was some Herff Jones rings in there too, and there might have even been some Balfour. I think he was a Balfour guy. Exclusive salesperson to the major sports teams, American Baseball League, the NFL, the NBA. These were all World Series rings, Super Bowl rings. I don't even know what the basketball rings are considered, but the final tournament rings, having all the stars' names on them. I mean, there was Joe Montana and Magic Johnson, and I don't know, some baseball player, I think Larry Bird was in there. But anyhow, these rings had been completely smashed and trashed, and I called him up and I found out what the story was, and that his widow, the guy who had died, the salesperson for the company, had all these stuck back, and his widow had sold them to this jeweler with the condition that they would be destroyed. They were supposed to be destroyed, I guess, a policy of the company. And but there's a whole group of people that collect these called sample rings, and everything's real about them except except their purpose and the stones. The stones were all not diamonds. They were imitation, or whatever the case may be on that particular. I got the scrap he had pulled out of them, and I spent probably, I don't know, anywhere from $400 to $800 per ring to get those rings rebuilt back to their original condition, and sold them for thousands of dollars a piece, and made a literal fortune. I mean, this was back when I think gold was about I don't know, under 300, and really cleaned up on that. So, you know, it can be advantageous. Needless to say, he would have got a lot more out of me had he sent in the whole rings instead of sending in the scrap. The way it was, he got like I don't know, $2,900 in scrap, and it would have been who knows, maybe 10,000 had he not butchered them. I did end up giving him, I think, $300 for what he could find that he had smashed out of them, but they were all fixable, just because I had a goldsmith friend that was very, very into Larry Bird, and he wanted the Larry Bird ring really, really bad. Just kind of a funny story. If you ever seen my gold grips story, he was the same goldsmith that made that, and I'm pretty sure to this day he still has the Larry Bird ring. But first one I sold was the Magic Johnson, and I believe it was the Lakers. I put an ad in the Los Angeles Times, just a small ad, and I had no idea what to expect, and my phone rang off the hook, and the first call I got was from a policeman on the LAPD, Special Crimes Task Force, and I thought, wow, you're in trouble now. And no, come to find out, he was a collector of these sample sports rings, and he had one of the largest collections of them in the country. So after hearing my story, he said, I tell you what, he said, I'll give you $2,500 for it. And I said, well, I've already got an offer of $2,900 from someone else. And he said, okay, I'll give you $3,600 for it, and that's my final offer. And he said, and not only that, I'll help you market all the rest of them. And so I went for that deal. Worked out real well, but there at the end, our little partnership worked out very well for quite some time, so I can't have too many complaints about that.